we still live? Yeah.
Are.
Yeah, we are. Hi,
Welcome back,
welcome back.
everybody, to a new episode, or if you're in the live stream,
The same episode you were already watching. Thank you, the two of you, for sticking around.
Riv calling the two people out. You know, on Twitch, you shouldn't be calling people out. Let them lurk if they're lurking. You can scare away the lurkers. We don't want to
I'm
scare
not
away the
calling them
lurkers.
out by name. I'm calling out the number of viewers we have, which right now is a huge whopping 2. That's okay. We do it for the lulz, the love.
Do it
Do
because
it for the content.
Everything is
Several
content.
reasons. Several reasons why we do it.
Yes, just the several. Yes, just the several. Anyway, when we last left off, we were talking about stuff, and we're going to go back to talking about stuff again really soon.
So eloquently put.
I am nothing if not eloquent.
If not stuff, what about things? Can we do things?
Not in this economy? Oh,
They might be tariffed. Might be tariff on those things. Be careful.
yeah.
Oh gosh, let's not start into that topic.
Yeah, it's a terrifying topic.
I mean, pun intended, it definitely is.
Mm-hmm. What were we going to talk about?
The shitty bit bullshit that just, ugh.
The shitty shit show that has been February?
February felt like it had a lot more going on than like the previous month and maybe even the previous year for some reason. I don't know.
So, I think it's to me with what happened in Canada this week.
Yeah. Wait, before we get into it, are you Canadian?
No, I'm
Right.
I'm Albertan, which, you know, depending who you ask, is not a part of Canada anymore. So, you know, because that's a thing that's going on that Alberta now wants to separate.
They can join Texas and form their own place. They can both secede.
Yeah, but Texas would do better than Alberta because it's not landlocked.
You got rivers. What are you talking about? You got rivers and mountains. You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Yeah,
That's
they're
me.
they would be owned by different countries. And besides, okay. Before I get into the other news, here's the thing. If Alberta were to separate, something like Banff National Park would not separate with Alberta because of the fact that it's a national park. It's a federal park. It is owned by the Crown, which is what we refer to as, you know, the federal government. So if Alberta were to secede from, you know, the Constitution, then all of a sudden Banff, Jasper would both stay with Canada and probably become part of BC. Because there would be no way in hell that Canada would let go of a world-renowned UNESCO site. It also brings in several $1 billion of tourism. So, you know.
That's it? Just a several billion?
Just several billion.
Rookie numbers. Gotta get those up higher.
But no, the crappy news that happened this last week. In Canada, there is a small town called Tumbler Ridge. It is in British Columbia. It's a small, tiny town that is, I'm just trying to think here. I think it's like, you know, 10 hours north of actually where I am. So it's actually in the mountains. Like west by northwest. No, north by northwest. That's what it is. And during this on Tuesday there was a school shooting, and it's the second worst in Canadian history that this happened. Here's the facts. A trans woman went into the school and shot and killed six people in the school. At her home, she killed her mom and her stepbrother, and she killed herself. When the news was breaking, of course, it came out that the RCMP suspected a person wearing a dress. That was the first information that came out. The fact that they worded it like that made a lot of people suspicious, and when I first heard that, my heart dropped because I could just foresee where that was going. Because it's not very often that the RCMP would put out information and not gender the suspect. So that was the first thing. The second thing that happened was because of that, a lot of extreme right groups went out and automatically just assumed transgender without any further information and started putting out that, transgender people are extremists, that we're dangerous, that we have an agenda, and all of this information just started just pouring out on social media. Which in turn made a lot of people start defending it, which, it I see it as twofold. Number one, it's great that people were defending it. On the other hand, they should have just left it to say, just wait for the news, wait for the information. Let's not jump to conclusions. Because as soon as it came out that it was a trans female person, it just gave more ammunition to the extreme right groups. Because they said, see, look, we told you so. And it's just like it went from there. For the most part, when that news came out, everybody was there was almost a 50-50 of the information that I was seeing of people shitting on the transgender group and actually putting a lot of hateful information out there. And then there was the other 50% of people that were, like actually putting out condolences and statements to the families of the shooter of all his children. And it was cool to see most nation leaders coming out and offering condolences. By the way, the American president did not send condolences for this, but almost every other leader did, and it was really cool to see. Because huge show of support for it. It came out that this youth adult, she was 18. 4 years ago, she dropped out of high school, or she dropped out of school. At the age of 14, she dropped out of school. At the age of 12, which was 6 years ago, was when she transitioned. That's already telling a huge story here because she's transitioned at 12 and she dropped out of school at 14. So there was definitely mental issues. There's definitely an issue with mental support. There's definitely an issue of familial support. And I say that because the mother's social media.
This is to kind of lighten the mood a little bit. This is Jack.
Oh, I love Jack. We love Jack. The mother in a lot of her social media posts refers to, look at what my son is doing rather than look at what my daughter's doing. Also, the father put out a statement, and in his statement, he uses he, him pronouns. So you can see that the familial support was not that great. And even in the community, they have said that their mental health support systems, they had they're non-existent. It's not that they're poor, it's non-existent out where they live. And so this family was known to the RCMP because there were calls from the community. I don't know if it was neighbors or from the house itself. I don't remember that, but they had to do mental health checks at that house. They saw and seized guns from that house. However, the owner of the guns petitioned for them to be returned, and in Canadian law, they have to. Which is one of the things that they want to start changing, is that if the RCMP seizes guns, in order to get them back, you have to if there's a mental health crisis, then they can force therapy and approval by the therapist before the guns get returned, which is the way that it looks like the government is probably going to shift to. So all of this is all coming out like so rapid fire, so much information and everything else. And so for me, my media, my news feeds, my social media feeds, so much was full of just this information and just getting pumped out. And so it was so hard to see like all of these people struggling with the fact that they lost family members, they lost their children, and so much hate and rhetoric was about the transgender agenda. To the point where one of the fathers of one of the his daughter was unfortunately killed in this shooting. He basically came out and said, "My daughter supported the LGBTQIA plus." Like he went the full alphabet with he said, "We knew this person, we supported this person. She was a supporter of this person, and can we focus on the fact that this person isn't a hateful person? This person just had issues, and we lost family." And here's a father trying to explain this in mourning, and it's just like it's so heartbreaking. And I mean, the hate and vitriol was so bad on the internet that one of the extreme right groups actually went on social media to try and find out stuff about the shooter, found some social media account that they thought was the person's, but it was actually somebody in Toronto, and posted their picture all over the internet saying this is the picture of the shooter. And it went as far as one of the federal news outlets, Radio Canada, actually took that picture and posted it and said, "This is the picture of the shooter." So like I said, it's been a really shit week because of that news coming out. And I mean, it's been really hard. It's been really crazy. Because as far as like Canadian side, like we don't deal with this very often. And I think I was talking to my parents about it because of the fact is they were talking with some American friends of theirs, and they said like you know this happened, and their friends were like, "Oh, okay," and it was like it just didn't register with them that this was something that happened. Whereas for us, we're sitting here going, "Holy shit!" And it's like it's such a the fact that you know when talking to a lot of like with my parents talking to American friends, and I don't know if you all feeling the same thing, that it's just like you're so desensitized to it, whereas for us in Canada it's just it is so gut wrenching.
You have to be desensitized to it in where we are because it does happen so frequently that if we don't, we can't continue to perform our parts in the uh, fucking capitalist machine to continue our existence. So unfortunately, it really sucks. But yeah, it does easily become we do easily become desensitized to it for that exact reasons. We have to, and it sucks that we have to. But it's constructed in that way that that is our only option is to be desensitized to it for one reason or another. Sorry, just
No,
yeah,
and
it's
and
awful.
and you're right. And I mean, I guess one of the cool things that came from this um was our Prime Minister Mark Carney, once again, like I am starting to realize, like he is probably one of the better speakers of world leaders in our day and age right now because he is so eloquent. He worded like his condolences so eloquently and got the entire house to give him an ovation. Like you know, this is after his Davos speech of getting a standing ovation, and like um he decided that, you know, he's going to go to this town's Tumbler Ridge for the memorial. And then he turned to the other leaders of the other party and said, "I'm going. You're welcome to join me on the plane." And they all joined him on the plane for all five of the parties, or four other parties, rather. And at this memorial, all the leaders of all political parties were there, all in attendance, all standing hand in hand with each other and the general governor. And it was cool to see. There was no political lines. There was no, you know, anything like that. There was no grandstanding. It was all just there for the people. Anyways, I just ranted for
That's
about
really
20
cool,
minutes about
though.
this, so I do apologize.
That's like how we should be.
Yeah, when I first saw that story pop, I was just scrolling through Reddit and it said, "Oh, shooting 9 people." I was ready to keep on going because I see it every single day. To Rip's point, we're accustomed to it. And it wasn't until I paused and was, wait, that mentioned Canada. And that then it caught for a second. And then the news started to trickle out with everything else Samara has said. And just, yeah, it's hard to, we don't think about these things anymore. We don't. We are so, it's not just desensitized.
Cruelty
It's
fatigue.
it's an accepted part of the American culture at this point, and it's sad that we're at that point. I can't imagine what it's like for kids nowadays in school. I mean, I was in high school when Columbine happened, and that was a shock. And now I can't imagine having that shock anymore.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, right now. Oh, sorry. Go
No,
ahead,
it's
Jess.
okay.
Oh no, please.
I was just gonna say, I mean, I think I've mentioned this in a previous episode, but um I definitely feel it, like, because I have a kid in school, and it's like it's very hard, and it's like super unfair, I think, um to the kids. I mean, I'm sure that everyone in Canada is feeling it, but I think that, like, in the US where it happens more often also, and it is unfortunately just like more, it is just, it's just so much more frequent. Um that, yeah, it's super shitty. And it's like I also feel like our level of, like, kind of like reported violence has also just increased so much, you know, in the past year and a half, even more, you know. It's like now we have this everyday violence on top of the everyday violence that we were all used to before this.
What I was going to say is like, on top of that, and I think the reason why I felt this one ricochet a lot harder is because of as soon as I saw that it was a transgender shooter, my heart dropped. My heart sank. Um, like I was already reeling from it because it was a school shooting, but just because of just that extra layer, because I knew exactly what was going to be starting to come. And I mean, a lot of transgender people in Canada are holding our breath to see what the aftermath is because, like, unfortunately, like, Alberta being is already extremely conservative and extreme, and just this past November, like 3 months ago, put in 3 bills that were anti-trans laws, and it's like, so in a way we're waiting for the other shoe to drop. We're waiting to see, okay, what happens. And that's the part where I already saw on 3 people I follow on social media, about 3, who talked about on Thursday when I was like looking into it, that 3 of them were going to detransition for a little bit for safety reasons. Wednesday I had some mental health struggles, severe struggles. And I think the hardest part is that, like, we just don't know where things are going to go with this. And I think that's the biggest terrifying part is that there's just so much that is going, like, with the Alberta government, especially, like, what's going to happen.
Well, I think you could probably assume what will happen is similar to what happened in the US. We did have, I think, I don't think it's the first one, but we did have a very, of course, overblown case of a an active shooter in the US that was identified as a trans individual earlier this year. So I I'm sure that many things have changed in that particular location based on that, but it seems things just keep kind of chugging along with the usual hate machine in America at the federal level. But I think that if it's something that you want to kind of know what to expect, maybe you could research, hey, what's currently going on at the within the community of that particular place that had that incident. Because thankfully it wasn't, at least for right now, like I'm not feeling the effects of it. Doesn't mean that others aren't feeling the effects of like that specific incident. And I don't want to invalidate what you're saying is, obviously it's very disheartening. It's very chilling. but also there's an extreme way to react to it, and there's a level-headed way to react to it. And I know that the extremes can be like someone wants to detransition, or mental health stuff's going to pop up because you can't avoid that if you've got mental health stuff. Like I have mental health stuff too, and it popped up from that same stuff, and like totally fucking valid. But I really don't want anyone listening to start to spiral,
Oh,
because something that happened, like when it happened in the US, like yeah, it was terrifying and it really sucked. And we were all looking to see like what's going to happen now. If we actually have like a mainstream event, um, that is going to probably affect us. And some things have started happening, with, I'm sure the NRA didn't come to any defense, even though we were hoping they would. But at least it didn't seem like things happened too much more swiftly than they already were in motion to be changing. So I don't know if that helps to alleviate any concerns that you or anyone else might have based in that situation. But um, long story short, it all sucks. And I hope you feel better, and I hope everyone's okay.
I mean, I took this weekend as a mental health break, and it's helped absolutely. So I mean, I'm already feeling. I mean, moment to moment, but yeah, um,
It's a trans experience sometimes.
absolutely. But we chose this, right? And I mean, I obviously know that, we can look at what's going on in the US with it and with laws and kind of draw a conclusion there, but it's also the difference of Canada versus the US, and that's the part where there's a lot of unknown. So there is the twofold side to that, and I think that um as as I was saying, like because Alberta is there is a very extremist right side to it. I'm thankful for the town I live in. I know that it's safe. I'm thankful for the job that I have, that I had the two or three people that I work around basically come to me and say, "You are safe. This is a protected space for you." And them telling me that just made me feel so much better. I actually had my manager come up to me and, ask if, how I'm doing, if there's anything she can do to help me. And then she said this was on Thursday, so a day after all of everything was going out, she basically said to me, she didn't realize just how much shit gets piled on us as transgender individuals for things like this. And like, her to say that and actually start to realize just the amount of like social media hate that we get. She was astounded. And I think it was almost eye-opening for her in that sense too. But she gave me Friday off as a mental health day, so yay. Great manager. I love her.
If I could piggyback off of that, a lot of people don't realize how much is thrown on our shoulders. Largely because, yeah, in the mainstream news cycle, none of it's covered. They don't cover any of it. Very, very little gets picked up. And when they do, it's only the big talking points, the big events. I had conversation with coworkers this week where I was talking about a few things here and there, and they're like, "Wait, what? Oh my god!" They had no idea. But it's stuff that every one of us talks about almost daily. It's crazy.
And I think the big thing is just letting people know that they are valid in their feelings, and that because you just don't know what people are going through. You don't know how people are reacting to things or how they're perceiving things or where any of their mental state is at. So, I mean, like, realistically, like, you can't go to somebody and say, oh, this happened. Oh, just, pull your socks up, get over it. No, people are valid in their feelings. The person who I went to brunch with, like I was talking to them and they were trying to share something that happened to them this week. And then they're like, I know, it's so small in scale to what you're having to go with this week. And I'm like, no, you're valid in what you're feeling. Like, don't diminish what you're feeling and how your week has been compared to mine. Like that, no.
Pain is pain. We all experience it differently.
Yeah.
The richest person versus the poorest person, their pain are equally valid, even though one may have more resources than the other. But it's the human condition.
I saw that in the chat.
Except for me, I'm built different. Just to bring us back from a little bit of that pit of despair.
Well,
Yeah, I'm sorry to ramble for the last half hour. You guys take the rest of the.
here's a small positive. It's a small positive. ICE has had a drawback in Minnesota. They pulled a lot of their troops out and they've reduced their footprint. So it's a small, tiny victory. It's not the best, but the fact that they're withdrawing is a good thing.
Yeah, I feel like they made them into an example, and they're moving on. I'm sure they're going to go to another progressive city soon and terrorize them too. So we'll all have to kind of keep our eyes out and for our communities and just make sure we're still on the lookout, because I don't want anyone to think that it's going to be okay quite yet in regards to ICE occupation of the U.S., because it's not. But we can still band together. We can still protect each other and report it to each other. I'm sure there are apps out there these days too. Who knows what these crazy kids are doing with their apps? God,
Actually, wasn't
everything's
there
got
an
an app these days.
I think there was an app that got banned because it was doing exactly that, of just saying where ICE was.
There's been a few that have gotten banned.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Never stops. It will never stop.
There you go. Jess's camera went off. Oh,
Yeah.
dang.
All the technical malfunctions.
All the technical stuff.
But one of the other things that caught my attention this week was the wonderful state of Idaho. I don't know if Idaho's wonderful. I've never been there. I don't know what Idaho's like. I just think it has something to do with potato growth or something. I don't know. They tried introducing another bathroom bill, as they're colloquially known. This one, however, is more aggressive than some of the others. This one is bathroom offenses. So if you get caught going into the wrong bathroom the first time, it's a misdemeanor. And if you do it again within 5 years, it's a 5 years prison sentence for peeing in the wrong spot. So remember, kids, pee in the right place in Idaho, or else you're going to prison. That's the message we're sending now. I think that's the most aggressive one to date. That when I heard that particular aspect, though, that the criminalized aspect of it, I'm like, what are we doing? Like, I hope that doesn't go anywhere. I don't know where they're at currently legislating that particular bill. I only heard about this one this past week. And they're doing this one under the auspices of course, protecting girls and women, because the scary transes.
Great.
It's always what they do, though.
Of course.
Which I might have mentioned this before. I do love that narrative, though. We're protecting the girls and the women from the men. Oh, wait, so you acknowledge it's the men.
So they're protecting women and girls, but they're not doing anything with the Epstein files.
I mean, they put some black bars on it. Did that get covered the last time? The fact of how they had released those first batch of files and how they
brought it up last time
correctly.
Yeah,
I think you brought it up last time.
I couldn't remember.
We have to be careful with bringing that up because, of course, Twitch is owned by Big Daddy Bezos, and Big Daddy Bezos is kind of.
If they're letting us have a show called Trans Spotting on their platform, we'll be okay for a little bit.
They're fine with trans creators. It's the mentioning of the Epstein bullshit.
But I think we should mention it anyway, because what else happened in February? Because holy shit, what a nightmare. What a nightmare it's all been.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
I don't know if any of you have read any of the unredacted stuff, but it just really you need to understand how just worse it is than we ever thought it was going to be before you do so, if you haven't seen any of the highlights yet. So
I heard a great comment today. It's looking like there may be a filibuster around the passing of the SAVE Act, which, for those who don't know, the SAVE Act is very much designed to disenfranchise bulk women, but it will also have an impact on our community as well. But the SAVE Act effectively requires you to have a passport. Your driver's license isn't good enough for ID when you go to vote. Now you'd have to have at least a passport, and if not your passport, it has to be your birth certificate with your driver's license and supporting documentation of a name change. So if you got married and you didn't change your birth certificate, for example, you got to bring along your marriage certificate, which, and even that, however, might not be good enough, because one of the things that they're saying is if the person at the polls, whoever's checking you in, says your documentation is good, but it's not in that particular state, that's not legal, that person is now legally responsible and facing repercussions for letting you vote. So they could get charged criminally. So there's a good chance they'll reject you for your paperwork anyways. But someone was saying, go back to the filibuster, someone had said today, hey, well, if we're going to filibuster the SAVE Act, why don't you just read the Epstein files unredacted since you have access to it? And just do that for your filibuster. Which, go for it. Why not? Read the whole thing. Just go for it. You got millions of pages, apparently. Which millions of pages
And millions
They
of
really should do
references
that.
to the president.
Yeah. I don't know if
Literally.
that would be along with the rules
Yeah.
since like
But then I love the
they're-
commentary online where they're all like, well, I forget who said it. Was it Bondi? It was one of them. Put it that way. They had said that if we released all this information and all these people were suddenly prosecuted, the government would collapse. No one's saying that's a bad thing. We're all like, do it. Just do it at this point.
I mean,
I
depends
don't
on
think
how
anyone's
it
like the
collapses.
system. No, it really doesn't. I'm going to say no, it doesn't, because I think the system should have collapsed a long time ago. I really do. I think that we're living in a dystopian future that should not have come about. We should be living in fucking Star Trek by now. We have the resources.
But there's no money in that.
I think it should all collapse, is what I think. And we should go from there and build locally and then go from there again.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. Building locally, building up from like the bottom up would be the way to.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where I'm saying, like, it depends on how it collapses. If it's a full scale collapse, that's not good, because then it's pure anarchy. And well, we see what happens, like, for example, Nepal, that, when there's a full anarchist, what happens. Or it could go the other way of like Bolivia, which is, guerrilla tactics of, constant leader changes depending on who's going to overthrow the government. So that's why I say it depends, because the fact of that. Yeah.
All I'm saying is that we're losing our rights. We might as well start fresh. if we're going to lose them anyway and lose access to resources.
It's
100%.
I'm not saying that we should do that instead of having access to resources that are beneficial to everyone based on a socialist part of our society, which, yes, we, once again, democratic socialism, we are actually socialists. I'm just saying that if we're already going down, let's take the ship with us. That's what she said.
Deeply ironic that for the longest time, bulk majority of the individuals on the right have been saying how they're pro Second Amendment, pro free speech. They're very, the rights oriented group. How easily they've and potentially unknowingly have been giving that up. Oh, it's the big one in this country is always guns, right? It's the Second Amendment. But then Alex Peretti had his legally, and they're all like, well, you shouldn't have had a gun. Which he legally had that. Whether you agree with guns or not, it was his right. He had it. He didn't draw it. They weaponized it narratively against him, and you all backed that up. But the whole point behind that amendment is exactly what's happening.
Exactly.
Well, if I remember correctly, the right to bear arms is people have taken it out of context a little bit, because the fact is that
it's never taken correctly in context. I feel like
yeah, because if I remember correctly, the right to bear arms, according to the amendment, is in the case of protection in the case of war for militia purposes.
The Second Amendment, I quote, "A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed." The way it was explained to me was that it's effectively guaranteeing that we at the state level have the right to form these state militias within our state to protect ourselves from a larger, broader government control.
Yes. So you're allowed to bear arms for the creation of a militia. I mean, obviously there's the people bear arms for hunting and things like that, but I mean so I mean the people who are on the street, with their guns and stuff, like, that's taken out of context unless you're out there to be a weaponized force, because that's essentially
I just find it hilarious that the amendment is really not that as vague as people think it is, but they tend to say it was written in a vague way so that we could do whatever we want with it and interpret it we want to. And so now we've got these assumptions that it's an actual right. But don't get me wrong, I'm on team right to bear arms, but I'm just saying the way it's worded is actually not as vague as people think it is. Like you said, talked about a well-trained and maintained militia versus conceal and carry laws, which are, at a state level for some part.
Well, I think that amendment was it before or during the Civil War, when it was basically people were supposed to have guns so that they could be part of the militia to prevent invasion of the troops.
You got me. I don't know. I don't have the facts
It was
on
added.
when it was made.
It was added in. Let me look it up real quick. Hang on.
This has been a very history
December 15th,
heavy
1791.
stream. Oh.
91. Oh
Mhm.
wow. I mean, history's good. History's good. We should always talk about history because then we can prevent it from being repeated.
One other thing too
Indeed.
about that Save Act law that I forgot to mention is it is also potentially violating the 24th Amendment. The 24th Amendment does not allow the government or anything to put any kind of poll tax, so you don't pay money to vote.
Mhm.
But by forcing people to have to bring get their birth certificate, of which you may not have a copy, that's like $20 to $30 wherever you live. So you may have to go get your birth certificate, your
Not
long
to
form
mention
birth certificate.
passport versus
The
license.
passport, yes, that's $165 right there. That is effectively because you require those documents and you have to pay the government to get those documents. It's effectively a poll tax in order to vote.
Which in turn requires birth certificate, which is another tax.
Yep.
And in addition to that.
So you're effectively saying I have to pay $200 in order to pay my taxes.
Wait,
Or
you're
that's
not
it,
allowed.
vote.
You're not allowed to
To
get
vote.
your birth certificate?
Not for free.
No,
you
isn't
typically have to pay
not
the
for free.
municipality.
You can't just go, I want a copy of my birth certificate or I want it changed. You have to pay to do that.
America's kind of
Well, I know
triangle shaped
that
in
the
a lot of ways.
change, but it just boggles my mind that you don't get a
Yeah.
birth certificate like when you're born.
No, you do. You just have to
Oh.
probably. I don't know if you pay for that one. 'Cause I was there when I was born, but I was a little bit preoccupied.
Come on,
Um,
Riv, think back.
think way back. But I mean, what we're referring to is like getting an additional copy if you don't have one. Then they do charge you a pretty excessive fee, which can vary from state to state as well.
Of course.
Of course.
Of course.
Oh, well, gang, we've
Well,
got
gang.
4 minutes left of the stream.
I want to know where Jess is. Where did Jess
Can
go?
y'all hear
Jess is
me?
having.
Oh, I
he
heard
said
Jess.
he's
I
having
heard Jess.
technical issues.
Can y'all hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah,
I
I'm
can't.
just coming in audio only right now.
That's okay.
So I've been lurking in the dark.
We're full podcast mode. We can't see you, but
I'm-
we can hear you.
I'm honestly
I can't
not.
I can't hear him
I'm
whatsoever.
not in the dark. But as far as you're concerned, I'm
Jess
in the
is
dark.
the strong silent type tonight.
Wait, can you not hear him?
I cannot hear Jess currently.
No,
I can hear him and you
that's
can.
so weird.
I wonder what it's going to pick up for recording then.
That'd be interesting.
Woo. Okay,
That's
well,
hilarious.
I can't
Oh
hear
no!
that
If Jess
either.
was talking this whole time and we've just been like talking over him, I would feel so bad for them.
No, not at all.
Okay.
just
okay,
here
good.
and there. No.
Anyway,
be quiet.
thanks for attending a very history and political heavy show. You got to see Jack. You're welcome. Jack's great. He's got everything you want in a dog. He's both compact and also fluffy.
Very,
I
very, very
knew
new
Jack
and
today.
very heavy episode.
Very heavy episode.
I'm sorry.
Episode,
for that.
if you will.
That's my fault. I'm sorry.
I'm going to call the second half of the show the Heavisode.
Episode.
The Heavisode. Yeah.
I'm sorry for my part on that. I didn't mean to bring everybody down.
It's okay.
We forgive
We
you
got to talk about this stuff.
this time.
Yeah. Just bring snacks next time and we'll think about it.
I've got snack for myself.
I'm going to bring them for us.
Yeah,
know. Oh no.
That's getting clipped.
Which part? Just me or both of us?
Do you go backwards?
But mine was cute at least.
You're so welcome, Jess. I'm glad you enjoyed me talking about it. To end off our episode the same way we do every time, what you got going on for self-care for the next little bit?
Self-care segment noise here.
You like that magic, like twinkling noise?
And just because of that, Riv, what do you got going on that for yourself for self-care?
Shit. I gotta answer first. I'm gonna smoke some weed when I get done.
It's every night for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
If
I have
it's
chronic
every-
pain and
every
it
time, it's
helps
not
me.
really
I'm
self-care,
a
it's
functional
habit.
stoner. Yeah, I have chronic pain and it helps me immensely. And I'm dysregulated with ADHD that's not currently regulated. It's literal self-care. I'm, along with my partner, harnessing all of my executive function to try to get a psychiatrist in order to start to explore ADHD meds.
Ooh.
Self-care. Literal self-care.
Vyvanse is life-changing.
I can't wait. I can't wait to start. I really want to get there because when I'm dysregulated, it's the worst day I've ever had. every single time, and it's bad. Yeah. Anyway, how about you, Samara? What are you doing for self-care?
Well, I'm at my parents', so I'm actually kind of limited in what I can do. But I mean, I've been actually working on the diamond art paintings, which are really fun, really relaxing. I just throw on like a movie or a TV episode or something like that, and just kind of slowly plug away at it. My mom bought me a couple, and of course, she bought me the biggest sizes that you can get. So it's of course doing it like thing by thing, and it's taking like forever. And of course, if you know me, I'm not the most patient person in the world, so this is really trying my patience. The other thing I've been doing is a lot of reading. Good old smut. I love it. It's so good. This is book 2. And it's a she thick with 3 C's. She thick.
She got a big spine to support all of that weight, all them curves.
It's true.
That's
So
a
I
book
mean,
joke.
I've already put in a small little dent, and this is from the last 2 days of reading. So that's fun. I actually bought book 3 already because I find having a book on the side for the next in the series helps you just move a little bit quicker. Otherwise I probably wouldn't read nearly as much as I can. But yeah, that's kind of my self-care for the next few days. Eve, what you got?
That's a good question. I have no idea what self-care I'm doing this week.
Ooh.
I'm split across too many things. I'm reading 2 books, the third if you count audiobooks. So for me, reading won't work because that's apparently too chaotic these days. But I'm gonna go with just classic gaming sessions with some friends. I got a couple of them actually bugging me now. It's like, come play, but maybe. But other than that, I don't know what I'll be doing this week. I've yet to figure it out. So I'll figure out something though.
Well, make sure it's good for you and good for your soul.
Of course. Might try. Big if. I might try doing my first solo Twitch live stream on my own channel. Maybe this week. Don't know yet though. Haven't decided.
Oh, nice.
Still got some technical things with OBS I have to fix. I'm not sure why they're not working yet, but that's kind of the limiting factor from stopping me going any farther.
I was going to stream
Nice.
this week, and then the news broke, and so that kind of filled any energy I had for streaming. So I hope to do that as well this week. But that's awesome that you got that going. Jess, even though they can't hear you, what you got going on? You can either put on chat or...
If you put it in the chat, I'll put it on screen for the stream.
Okay, I'll put it in the chat.
Okay, he's putting it into the chat. He just said that. I think it's hilarious that you can't hear him, but I can.
Like, is Jess in the room with us right now?
Sauna.
It's great. Yeah.
Jess says, I'm gonna hit the sauna.
And cold plunge. Is it a Nordic like a Nordic spa?
No, it's at the climbing gym.
He said no, it's at the climbing gym.
It's like a Swedish style with a cold plunge tank.
I wonder if you can...
It's like a Swedish style with a cold plunge tank.
Oh, Jess, question for you that I cannot hear you respond to, and I will hear your voice through Samera, like some strange eldritch puppet. Yeah, it does like that. Is it like when you reach the top of the climb, is there a hot tub, and do you jump off to do the cold plunge? Is there like icy water down below?
That would be amazing.
He said that would be amazing.
They should do that.
They should do that?
Yeah.
But it doesn't sound like that's what it is.
No.
He didn't confirm nor deny it.
No, that's a good
Wow,
idea.
It's like talking through a medium with Ghost Jess.
Yeah.
I can seance him. He is in the room with us. Everybody keep holding hands as we do this. We need to keep the connection.
This is great. This is fantastic. Yes.
See, that's the one term you didn't read, Jess, in your contract. Is once you're a ghost.
So
as
a
co-ghost, if you will,
as the ghost,
co-ghost is with the most.
Next Halloween, co-ghost.
I mean, have 2 different conversations, and my ADHD is going wild. We are done. We are done. I am done.
This is the new system from now on. One host always has to talk through Samera at a time.
No, my ADHD will go. No.
Oh, no.
I already go on enough bunny trails as it is. I do not need this added on.
Also, just kidding. Jess is not a ghost. Jess is very much alive and well. Thank you, Jess. I miss you. I'm sorry I can't hear you or see you. much like a ghost.
New level of trans masculine.
Oh,
God.
oh, he's still slaying from beyond the grave. I'm kidding.
I don't know if that was good or terrible. Oh, man.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
Thank you,
What's a
Jess.
high
You
note to
are-
end on? Thank you.
And with that, Riv, you want to take us out?
Yeah, I will stumble fuck my way out of the outro for sure. This has been a great episode. You can find me at my link tree is linktree /Bury the River. It's got all my links in it for all of your linking needs. Samera, where can we find you and your stuff?
I'm right here.
Eve, where can we find you and all your cool things where we can watch your
Oh.
content and do all the things?
Instagram and Threads, it is at Tempest Minis, and Blue Sky, which I actually haven't touched since I created it, is at the Trans Kitchen.
Nice.
You can find
Jess, if you can. No, I'm sorry, you missed your turn because you said you were already here. So now Jess is going to talk through you. For our listeners, Samera is rightfully flipping me the bird.
I love you, Riv. I love you so much, but
I'm a bitch. It's
no,
fine.
You can find me on Threads at Laedrys, LAEDRYS, and you can find me on Twitch at that exact same. I don't think I have anything else. I have an
Nothing to plug.
Instagram, but you'll be very bored looking at that because I don't post there. Feel free.
Sure. Jess, do you want to
You
ghostly
did post.
speak through Samera?
You did post. Look in the chat.
Oh, I was looking in the wrong area.
What the
Jess.
heck, Riv? What the
I was being good, and
Nope.
I had my eyes on the outro video, getting ready to play it for the end of the episode. If you can believe it.
You said Blue Sky at Jess-does-life with a Y instead of an I.
This is great.
Look
I
at
don't
that.
even have to say it, and you're saying
one
it.
Look
shot.
at that.
Okay, you
That's
all
what she
can't
said.
talk at the same time, for fuck's sake. I'm done. My mic's muted.
Well,
This
on
has
that
been
note, shall we call it a night?
With a very ghostly Jess and a very
Yeah.
sassy Samera. This is River signing off with your outro video. Definitely on time this time.
Jesus.
And we did not at all fuck up this outro. Bye-bye now.
Stomach the words in a vacant landscape.